Hi, my name's Hillary Jubilee and welcome to my channel. Welcome to the very first video on my channel, in fact. I just want to be straight up and say that I definitely put off making this first video because of I'm sure everybody who started a YouTube channel can relate that they were at least a little scared to put themselves out there and just little feelings of doubt and insecurity and what are people gonna think. But you know, I came to the realization that people probably think that I'm crazy anyways with half of the stuff that I post on social media already. So I thought, let's just dive right into this. We create our own reality. I've known about the law of attraction for many years. So if you're familiar with the movie The Secret, that is a movie that describes the law of attraction and thoughts become things. If you've never watched it, I do highly recommend checking it out. It is on Netflix. It's pretty old and dated, but the principles of it are pretty valuable. I found it inspiring. That's why I've watched it like countless times. Even after watching it so many times, I couldn't understand how to put it into action in my life. I just didn't understand. Like, they're saying thoughts become things. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, how does thinking of something that I want affect my reality out here, right? Like, how is that? It wasn't clear to me. They talk about vision boards and they talk about visualization and feeling it real and all that kind of stuff, which we'll get into, but it just didn't click for me even after seeing it so many times. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. Like, a lot of people have seen The Secret and it's like, okay, cool. Like, what do we do with that information? And another movie that's good to check out is called What the Bleep Do We Know? So if you think that law of attraction's a bunch of BS and there's no way that we create our own reality, it is based in science. So What the Bleep Do We Know has scientists kind of explaining it from that point of view. And that movie is dated as well. So fair warning, if you do watch it, you just have to kind of take it for what it is and take the valuable information from it and just sort of leave. There is like a politically incorrect moment in that movie, and just fair warning, like, it is dated. It's still valuable information, especially if you want like the sciencey way of it being explained. Essentially everything is energy. So we are made up of as the same thing as a book or lash products. We're all made up of the same stuff, atoms essentially. So if you do think that it's BS, then I'd highly recommend checking out those two movies just as a base understanding kind of thing. And even after watching those two movies, I had seen both of those when I was a kid. It's still like, okay, cool. Like, what do I do with that information? Like, that's interesting that they kind of allude to, like, there's an experiment done, which I'm sure you've heard of, where somebody takes two different glasses of water and they treat one with respect and they tell it they love it and it's worthy and says nice things to it, you're beautiful, things like that. And then the other glass of water, they're saying, I hate you, and terrible things too. And then under a microscope, the water just looks completely different. The molecules look different, right? So your words have changed something physical. The idea is if our words or thoughts can do that to water, imagine what it can do to ourselves and to our world. So they kind of leave you with that, and that's nice, but it'd be nice to get some tangible kind of, just a simpler way of putting it. And I have found that the teachings of Neville Goddard have really made something click for me. And I first found out about Neville Goddard through a couple of YouTubers. One is Roxy Talks, she's here on YouTube, and Sammy Ingram. So those two are really amazing and I do highly recommend checking them out. If you don't know who Neville Goddard is, I can explain that in another video. I'm sure I'll be talking about him a lot. The law that Neville Goddard talks about though is the law of assumption, so as opposed to the law of attraction. So in the law of assumption community, Neville Goddard community on YouTube, like the current community on YouTube here, there is some dispute on whether the law of attraction even exists. There is no such thing as a law of attraction, it's law of assumption only. I think that the law of assumption sort of encompasses the law of attraction. It's about creation. The law of assumption is about creation, creating with your thoughts rather than attracting things to you. In my opinion, if you're creating something, you're attracting it as well. But the law of assumption is just kind of makes it a lot more simple. So there are a lot of different terms that are used in the law of assumption community. If you're watching this video, you probably know what they all are already, but if you're new to it, I will explain them all as they come up, I guess. With the whole law of attraction journey before discovering law of assumption, I already talked about Secret, What the Bleep Do We Know, so those 2 movies, and then I did this course called Landmark, which is a self-development course, and I will say that I don't necessarily agree with the way that it's run for multiple reasons, but one, with anything, with any YouTube coach, with any movie about this topic or self-development course or whatever, you just take what's valuable from it, what can move you forward in life. There's gonna be certain things that you don't agree with within any coaching or course or something like that. You just take what works for you and use that in your life. So anyways, with Landmark, one of the concepts that they talk about is everything is empty and meaningless and we are meaning making machines. So that is kind of a key component in the law of assumption kind of concept. So we assign meaning to everything. If something happens in your life, you're making it mean certain things. So an example of that might be, let's say you texted your friend asking, hey, do you want to go for breakfast tomorrow? And they don't respond. And normally they would respond. So you could make it mean that they are angry with you about something that you said earlier, or that they are hurt. You could worry about them. You could make it mean that they got in a car accident and you could start being worried sick. Or you could just make it mean that they are out of service. They don't have service on their phone. They went for a forest walk. They're taking some time in nature and they didn't look at their phone. So it doesn't mean anything unless you make it mean something. So you want to make it mean something that benefits you. And the main Neville Goddard teaching is persist in an assumption until it hardens into fact. So on that note, I am gonna just say it is based in science. The law of attraction, law of assumption, thoughts become things. It is based in science, but it's also not logical whatsoever. So this is the whole point of why I was saying people are gonna think I'm insane for talking about this stuff, but it's not logical, but it does work. I've seen it work. There are tons of other people that it works. It works for everyone. It's working whether you believe it does or not. So why not just try it out and try on believing in it? And, it's not gonna hurt you. Back to the law of attraction journey. So another person that I have followed in my law of attraction journey is Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks. So this one can be seen as a little woo-woo. Some people might not be able to really grasp or want to believe in this. So her name's Esther Hicks, and she channels an entity that she calls Abraham Hicks. So she's channeling this entity, and it is a little weird, okay? It's weird, but I do find listening to it sometimes pretty calming. And it's just like I said, like you just take what's valuable from things. If it doesn't resonate with you, then you don't need to watch it. But I stopped watching her for a little bit once I found law of assumption, and then sometimes I do go back and listen to some of it. Like she does have, it is calming to me, but some of the things she says that come up I don't agree with everything, but one of the things that I do agree with, so she says there's nothing serious going on here. So with the concept that everything is empty and meaningless and we are meaning-making machines, there's nothing serious going on here. So there's no meaning to anything. So there's no reason to be anxious or upset about something that happens in your life because it doesn't mean anything. You don't need to make it mean anything wrong or bad. It's neutral. So I do like, there's nothing serious going on here. I like saying that to myself when something comes up. If it's negative, there's nothing serious going on here. It doesn't mean anything. So another key concept that's taught in the law of assumption community is that your 3D reality, so your 3D reality is like what you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell around you, and what you perceive as reality isn't actually real. So this is another going back to why people are gonna think I'm freaking crazy, but it's okay. If you're able to hear me out, this information is extremely valuable. That's the whole reason why like I'm pushing through my fears of coming on here and talking about this stuff. I just think it's super valuable information, and I found out about it through YouTube, and I want more people to find out about it. So in conclusion to the whole LOA, law of attraction journey, so with The Secret, thoughts become things, that always fascinated me, but I couldn't really grasp how to make it work for me until I found the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's teachings about The Secret and the vision board thing. I have a vision board that has like the edges done. I've done like 4 corners of 4 different areas of life. So 4 different areas of life in the 4 corners. Yeah, it just started to feel like a chore. So the law of attraction community talks about like the 5x55 method, 2-cup method, 3x33, whatever. Write something 3 times, 30 times for 3 days, or whatever the heck it is. It's so much more complicated when there's all of these different methods. You don't need techniques or methods. All you need is yourself. And that is why it's actually so simple. If you want to know more about the law of assumption and Neville Goddard's teachings, I'm going to be making videos on that. So I'm not going to be only talking about Neville Goddard's teachings, but it's going to be based on the law of assumption for sure, because that's what I've felt has worked in my life and is working in my life. Thank you so much for watching my very first YouTube video. Hopefully it wasn't complete trash. If you didn't think it was complete trash, please hit the like button and the subscribe button so I know I can go ahead and make a few more videos on the law of assumption. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hello. Gotta dial up the brightness on this bit. Ooh. There she is. Hello. Blah, blah. Our bodies are made up of a lot of 90% of water. Cut that. Hello. 80%, whatever the frig. Yeah, I can get down with a little weirdness sometimes, so if you could just hold on. We're made up of mostly water. This is a very long-winded explanation of how we got here. Please click the like button and the subscribe. Hopefully this wasn't shit, too much shit. And molecules are whatever I'm not a scientist, okay? The energy is moving. Nope. Areas of life. We're good. Is this thing on? This will be fun to edit.